Hi, I'm Jeff Rice, owner of Decor Designs in Crystal Lake. It's my pleasure to have you in my home for this episode of ReStyle. Today we're going to talk a little bit about fall decorating, ideas that you can use for fall decor, and later on we're going to spook it up a little bit with some ideas for Halloween. So why don't you come on over to the dining room, let's get started. One of the nice things about fall is that you can take inspiration from nature and bring that indoors to enhance your home decor. I like fall because you have wonderful jewel tones to work with: orange, purple, yellow, bronze, and gold. And you have a variety of textures from fall berries to fruit, gourds, and dried grasses. We're going to show you how you can use some of these items to enhance your home decor. Whether you're accessorizing for fall or just everyday decor, it's always a good idea to think in terms of layering. When you accessorize, you mix colors, you mix textures, you mix forms. The more layering you can do in your vignettes, the better, and the more designer that your finished product will look like. Let me give you an idea with this table setting. We're going to start out with a fall colored plate, which is very pretty in and of itself, but we're going to embellish it a little bit by bringing in an accent plate with a fall leaf. And while that is a nice finished look for your table, if you're going to set it up, let's embellish it a little bit more by adding in another layer with some fall leaves. We can actually place those underneath on the plate and then the accent plate on top. And that's another layer. And then finally we can top it off with a gourd from your local market. Okay, let's take this idea of layering a step further. Let me show you some items that I had laying around the house that I'm going to create a fall tablescape for you, a fall centerpiece. We're going to start out with a tray, which is going to be our base, and then I have some items that you probably already have lying around as well. I had some mesh bags, green apples and some gourds, some pine cones from outside, a branch of leaves, some Indian corn that you might have for fall decorating with some fall ribbon. We're going to go on to some bigger items like this old oil lamp. It's a rusty old oil lamp, a wine bottle I just took the label off of, and a couple of clear vases. I've already filled this one with some wine corks, so I'll show you how we're going to incorporate all of this. Again, we're going to start with this simple tray. Probably a good idea to start with something that has fall colors. I wouldn't use something shiny. I would use something that, again, looks more rustic and old, and we're going to embellish this tray. So let's get started. We're going to do the layering, as I said. We're going to soften the edges of the tray by kind of draping the mesh bag over. And the other one, we can take it over kind of this direction. That gives us a nice base. And then it's always a good idea to start with your biggest items and then kind of fill in with the smaller stuff. So let's get this big glass vase in here, and we'll put that right there. And we want to fill it up with something. So probably, let's see, let's try the green apples. We'll put those in for a little punch of color and some height. Another layer of texture like we were talking about. All right, so we've got that. And the next item we'll bring in, let's say the corks, which let's just say I had those from the party left over. So we'll bring those in. And I like the wine bottle because it adds in that amber element, kind of a green fall color. So I just took the label off and brought that in, and it's also a nice tie-in with our corks. We're gonna have to back things up just a little bit here to make room for our antique oil lamp. So we're going to bring that in, and this is kind of where you just kind of have to play with things and get it to work. I want this to stand up just a little bit, so let's take a pine cone and stick that under so we can get a little bit of a layer there. So see, we're already getting the basics. Going there. And then it's just a matter of embellishing and actually filling this out and adding those additional layers. So let's throw in the Indian corn. That's our next biggest item. We can throw that into the side here. Spread out our ribbon just a little bit. Okay. And then throw in some, let's take the leaves next. How about that? Let's throw those in here. Again, we're going to soften the edge of the tray just a little bit by letting these kind of spill over. And there, that's kind of working for me. Throw in a few of the pine cones just to fill in the empty spots. And some gourds. Maybe our sunflower tucked in nicely right here. few more gourds. Let's take stuff down off of the edges to soften the edge of the tray just a little bit more. And there you have it. You got a nice fall centerpiece using things that you might have already had around your home.